There's another wasp.
And that was the end of sitting by the river and knitting. I almost dropped my needles and my mom was making fun of me. Thanks, Mom. Starting our day off strong with the center pole mess. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Domino and I like to make things from scratch. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am making a Halloween sweater from a pattern that I've been wanting to use for months, if not years at this point. This is also the first true sweater I've ever knit. I'm really excited. I have all the yarn here. I'm also going on a trip, so I'm going to see how much of the sweater I can get done in the week that I'm traveling. So I'm leaving tomorrow, but I want to start the swatch before I leave so that I can do the blocking. I don't have to worry about that on the plane or anything. It's editing, Domino. I don't know why we're sitting so close to each other. Kind of feels like an invasion of space now that I'm looking at it. Sorry about that. Still learning how to do intros. Everything's a little wonky still, but we're learning. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hopefully we end up with a really cute sweater at the end. I like these two. I want to do one of these two. I think I'm going to do the pumpkin. I don't know if I want black. I think maybe I'll go for a brown instead of black for the main color. The recommended yarn is the Mighty Stitch from Knit Picks. So these are the colors that I ended up with. And it's actually not that bad. Oh my goodness, that pink is really bright. Wait, did I buy two? I only meant to buy one. All right, so we got two. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this color pink. It's really soft. The swatch is supposed to be actually in colorwork, but I really don't feel like doing that. So I'm going to do it in this god-awful pink color that I accidentally bought two of. It is exactly the right gauge, so that's great. I'm gonna cast on before we get on the road so that I don't have to count in an Uber, you know? Starting with the ribbing, so we're doing smaller needle size. We're doing also a new cast on method. Well, it's new for me. The alternating cable cast on, I think is what it's called. And I ended up having to do it in the Uber and the airport anyway because I was really confused. It looks nice, kind of, but I did a double folded collar anyway, so there really wasn't a point in doing it, and it took so much time. And I was getting very confused. I honestly don't even know if I did it right. I had two very short connecting flights. They were both less than 2 hours each, so I really didn't get that much done, but I did get started on the ribbing. The connecting flight was crazy. Our first flight was a little bit delayed and we had a really tight connecting flight, so by the time we landed we had to run across to the other gate, which luckily was right across the way from the one that we came in from. Otherwise it wouldn't have been the case. I apologize to anyone who I might have accidentally pushed out of the way under the sheer stress of trying to get to that flight, so my apologies. But I was just happy to have made it onto the second flight. I finished the collar on the second flight and I decided to do a double folded collar, and since we were flying, I couldn't look up how to do it, so I just kind of used my intuition for what I thought would be right, and it came out good. I'm still not totally sure if this was right or not, but it worked. Here we are switching to our bigger needles because we're done with the ribbing and now we're gonna do the actual body. I almost dropped my needles and my mom was making fun of me. Thanks, Mom. Luckily I didn't, because I one time lost a crochet hook in a plane seat and it was devastating. So anyway, I'm so excited, you can tell, because I was happy on a plane. I hate being on planes, but these are special circumstances. And we finally made it. We flew into Santa Barbara and my sister picked us up from the airport, so that was nice. I had to take a little break to have an espresso martini and some charcuterie. It's only natural. I just finished the shaping rows, similar to German short rows, but not. I've never done this before. I don't even know if this looks right. We're starting the color work, and one thing I really want to learn how to do well is catch floats. And I also am going to try to figure out how to knit with both styles, with both hands, with color work. Starting our day off strong with the center pole mess. A classic. But I found it, so not to worry. I ended up spending a lot of time knitting by the pool, which gave me a very unfortunate sunburn and a very weird tan. So I don't know if I can necessarily recommend it, but it was fun. as you guys know, it's really important to try on your work as you go, so that way you can fix stuff rather than taking the entire thing apart. So I just took the sweater off of the needles and I split for sleeves, and then I did 2 rows just so that it wasn't, you know, like cast-ons when I was trying it on. Let's try it. Okay, this is the front because I did some short rows for shaping the neck. It looks like it fits perfect. There's 2 options. One was A-line and one was straight. I would have done the A-line if it worked in negative ease, but it said that it was positive. And I don't want it to be bigger. But I feel like this is actually fitting really well. The pumpkins are so cute. Back to work. At this point, we were almost ready to leave Santa Barbara. I came to help my sisters move from Santa Barbara and go on a road trip with them. So this is the start of that. My mom and I also watched a bunch of crime documentaries, which really didn't help on the road trip, but that's half the fun anyway. We decided to drive through Joshua Tree National Park, which was really beautiful, but it was 110 degrees because it was August, and there were all these signs saying not to use your AC because it could overheat your car. So of course, we were then driving through the desert in 110 degree weather, and I didn't get much knitting done because I could not stand to have anything on my lap, as you could probably imagine. But it was really fun. You know, does anyone know that Western sound that's like, wow, wow, wow? I kept trying to make that sound, and no one was getting the reference. That's how I felt being in the desert. My sister and I had never seen a Joshua tree before, and we had no idea what they looked like, so every time we saw a shrub on the side of the road, we were like, a Joshua tree! Which is funny, and I make jokes about it now because they started to become very apparent once we got a little ways into the park. But anyway, we survived the desert heat, and I drove the rest of the way so I didn't get any more knitting done. We made it to Arizona, and we saw these really cool, huge cactuses. We spent a little bit of the next morning exploring Arizona. We went for a little walk, and I also bought these 2 rings, which I love. And then we got back on the road, and I didn't drive today at all, so I spent a lot of time knitting, and I got a lot of stuff done. We listened to a lot of good music. This is my sister, Juliet. Say hi to Juliet. She has a TikTok where she shares her running journey. You guys should check that out. I'll put it on the screen. And we had a lot of fun. Today we went through Arizona mostly, and there was a lot of Native American crafts places that I really wanted to stop at, but we just wanted to get to where we were going, so we didn't stop. Here's Juliet cleaning her windshield, a very important part of the trip. But anyway, back to your scheduled programming. I got to the desired length of the body and I started the ribbing. The challenging part was yet to come. I had to learn a new bind off method, but my phone was absolutely dying. And I wanted to be able to take pictures when we went to the 4 corners, so I did not film any of it. Sorry about that. We stayed at a hotel in Pagosa Springs that had all of these hot springs, and it was really cool. But everyone wore the same robe and it was very culty. The next day, I was sitting by the river and trying to get some knitting done, but then, out of the blue, I got stung by a wasp, which put a damper on things, but I still got some stuff done, not to worry.
There's another wasp.
And that was the end of sitting by the river and knitting. It was fun while it lasted. We're gonna try it on. It fits. Time for the sleeves. So I made it back home, but I didn't finish the sweater. It's almost done. I just have to finish the 2 sleeves. And the only thing I'm confused about with this pattern is how long to make the sleeves, because it says make it 2 inches longer than the body. But then like in the schematic it says that the sleeve should be the same length as the body. So I'm gonna try it on and see once it gets to be the length before the ribbing and see if it fits, and if it doesn't, then I'll just keep going. So that's my plan. I hate making sleeves. I don't like using small circular needles, and I don't like having to like swing the whole sweater around. Also, sorry, because I know you can probably hear my dryer. The sweater so far, it's almost done. I just have to do the cuff for the second sleeve, and I did the same number of rows. I used stitch markers to count, so hopefully they end up being the same length. I haven't been working on it that much in the last couple days since I got back because I had a lot of editing and I had to help my sisters move and everything. So, but honestly guys, I really want to finish this today and weave in all the ends so that I can change my nails. They're screaming, they want to come off. So anyway, I'm gonna do that really quick and then weave in the ends, and hopefully I get that done before I have to be somewhere at 2. So it's like 11 right now. I went for a run this morning and didn't get back because I was chatting afterwards. So I'm gonna try and get that done. Please ignore any cat or dog hairs that you might see. Source number 1. Source number 2. So I'm casting off and somehow I didn't cut this. The yarn ended up being like almost exactly the right length, a little bit longer, which is better actually because we don't want to be playing yarn chicken. I finished. The whole sweater is finished. I just have to weave in the ends. Those are all the scraps. Not amused. There it is. I love how this sweater came out. I'm so excited. I've been wanting a Halloween sweater for so long. I had so much fun making this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're still watching, thank you so much for joining me. I would love to make more videos like this, so if you like it, definitely let me know. I was thinking actually of making a matching hat with the pumpkins on it. I don't know, that might be kind of ridiculous, but I really don't mind looking ridiculous, so stay tuned for that. Definitely come back to see that video if you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.